is NBA action. In the West, the Mavericks are galloping full speed ahead through the playoffs. While in the East, the Nets have a real fight on their hands. We'll tell you all about the NBA's Got Milk Rookie of the Year. Take a look back at the American Basketball Association. And bring you the top 10 plays of the week in our courtside countdown.
1 second left. The three at the buzzer.
What a play by Allen Iverson!
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
You can't believe that one, can you?
Oh, baby, what a play! Man, what a dunk by Tim Duncan.
Stoudemire. Oh, David Stoudemire.
Hey, down!
Showtime.
Oh, my!
Unbelievable.
Oh, what a magnificent play.
Here comes Shaq. Look out.
Put that in the highlight reel right now.
If you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. We tip things off by taking you into the action in the Western Conference playoffs, starting with the Timberwolves against the Mavericks. Steve Nash was focused on one goal, giving Dallas a 2-games-to-none advantage over Minnesota in their first-round series. And his 17 points sure helped his team reach that goal.
Long three by Steve is true. Oh, the Maverick bomb squad is out early.
And Dirk Nowitzki was also a man on a mission as he poured in 31 to help tame the Timberwolves. Back in Minnesota for Game 3, Kevin Garnett was determined to prevent a series sweep. But Dirk Nowitzki came out of the gate just as determined to end it in 3 games as he scored 17 points in the first quarter alone.
Nowitzki for 3. Count it. Nowitzki refuses to miss.
And the big ticket refused to go down without a fight. A sentiment shared by his T-Wolves teammate Anthony Peeler, whose clutch outside shooting brought Minnesota back into the game.
It'll be Peeler. He got it away, and he hit it.
But devastating Dirk finished with 39 to finish off Minnesota.
Nowitzki. That should do it.
We got a week rest now, so that was great. And if we would have come back on Tuesday, it would have been a whole other thing. So we wanted to get that, and now we're happy to go home.
Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs were in Seattle, tied with the Sonics at a game apiece in their best-of-5 series, when rookie point guard Tony Parker poured in 23 to put the pressure on the home team.
Parker for 3. Oh, Tony Parker on fire.
Parker's points were only part of San Antonio's production in a 102-75 rout.
Parker, has he had a game or what?
In Los Angeles, the Lakers held a 1-0 series lead over the Trailblazers, and it would soon be a 2-0 lead, as Portland simply could not contain the power of Shaquille O'Neal, who went on to score 31 points.
And O'Neal.
And of course, there's always Kobe, who calmly posted 19 points of his own with his typical variety of shots, shakes, and showmanship.
Bryant right to the basket.
And so Rasheed Wallace and the Trailblazers found themselves down 2-0 in the best-of-5 series, with hopes that their home court might help to humble the defending champs. Of course, some high flying to the hoop doesn't hurt. But the Blazers just could not contain Kobe. He exploded for a game-high 25 points. And with the clock winding down and the defense collapsing on him, he found Robert Horry for a series-winning 3. Horry for 3! The mailman usually delivers at home. And Karl Malone was determined to do it again when the Jazz hosted the Kings with their first-round series tied at a game apiece.
Malone gets around D-Body. Malone with a slam dunk.
But sometimes the mail does not go through. Mike Bibby and the Kings were too much for Utah, as Sacramento won it 90-87 to take a 2-games-to-1 series lead.
Quick backdoor cut. Bibby with the play, but give the assist to Doug Christie.
In Game 4, Karl Malone once again came up with a whole package, scoring, rebounds, and assists. And the Jazz appeared to be on their way to tying things up in the series. But it was no accident that the Kings ended the regular season with the best record in the league. They can simply shoot the lights out, and they can handle the pressure.
Shot pocket 3. D-Box
3. Now here's a look at the NBA.com Western Conference playoff picture. With that win, the Kings won their series with the Jazz 3-1, and now will face the Mavs, who swept the Timberwolves. The Lakers beat the Trailblazers in 3 straight. They'll take on the winner of the Spurs-Sonic series, which San Antonio currently leads 2-1. Welcome back to NBA action. Now we go back into the action, this time in the Eastern Conference playoffs, starting with the first-round series between the Pacers and the Nets. Point guard Jason Kidd led the New Jersey Nets to the best record in the East. But now his leadership is being tested in the NBA playoffs. The heart and soul of the Pacers has long been Reggie Miller. And with this series tied at a game apiece, he stepped up again in Game 3.
Reggie with the screen and for the lead. He's done it again. 30 points tonight.
Late game heroics are nothing new for Reggie Miller. But another star was born when Kerry Kittles connected in the clutch.
And it's tripped up. They rotate. Kittles for the lead. Oh, a big shot. Kerry Kittles is only 2 of 11 tonight. A spectacular shot.
But Miller had a chance to win it for the Pacers.
Miller wide open for the win. And that's it. And New Jersey has won on the road.
In Game 4, the Pacers' Ron Artest turned it up a notch on the defensive end. And exploding off the Indiana bench was Austin Crozier, who scored 18 points as the Pacers tied the series at 2 games apiece. Crozier steps back, knocks it down. Austin Crozier.
This guy is giving him some lift tonight.
Paul Pierce looked fierce, but there was a twinkle in his eye as the Celtics looked to go up 2-0 over Allen Iverson and the Sixers. And though the answers scored 29, Pierce propelled the Celtics to the win.
Here's Pierce. What a move. What a basket. That was one of the spectacular baskets tonight. This is a classic between these teams. Pierce with a 3. This is just great basketball.
When the series moved to Philadelphia for Game 3, Iverson was on his way to a 42-point night.
Iverson's got the field going in the opening minutes.
But Antoine Walker was feeling a bit hot himself.
Walker knocks it down. 7 for 7 from three-point range.
Iverson scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. But this series moved to a 4th game thanks to the play of veteran Derek Coleman.
McKee falling away. Coleman takes in. Oh, what a play from Coleman. And there will be a Game 4 here Wednesday night.
Jerry Stackhouse led the way with 20 points for the Pistons in their Game 1 victory over the Raptors. And he came through with 31 to put Toronto away in Game 2.
Stackhouse fires it up and hits. He can go no wrong on 3.
At home in Toronto for Game 3, Antonio Davis scored 30 and the Raptors win.
Davis strong to the pass. Oh,
And the Raptors continued to pour it on in Game 4. Keon Clark scored 19 points, and as the injured Vince Carter looked on, Morris Peterson scored 20 as Toronto evened the series at 2 games apiece.
Peterson having his finest offensive game of the series.
Tracy McGrady was ready for battle in Game 3 of the Orlando-Charlotte series. As always, T-Mac showed a knack for knocking down big shots. But Baron Davis can also come up big.
Davis at the buzzer. No, it's waved off. Bernie Fryer says no, it will not count.
The refs waved that one off, but that didn't cool off Davis, who came through in overtime to give Charlotte a 2-1 series lead. In Game 4, McGrady scored 31 points as the Magic looked to hold on. But Baron Davis answered with 28 points of his own, as a happy bunch of Hornets won the series 3-1.
Long shot and a long 3 by Baron Davis. The Charlotte Hornets have eliminated the Orlando Magic by taking 2 out of 2 here in Orlando.
Now here's a look at the NBA.com Eastern Conference playoff picture. The Pacers and Nets will play a 5th and deciding game. The winner will face the Hornets, who beat the Magic 3-1. The Celtics lead the Sixers 2-1. The winner there will play the Pistons or Raptors, who are tied at 2 games apiece. NBA action is brought to you by the NBA Playoffs 2002. Love it. We're back with more NBA action. Time to log on to NBA.com. Starting with the Got Milk Rookie of the Year. And he's the Memphis Grizzlies' Pau Gasol from Spain, the winner of the 2002 Got Milk Rookie of the Year.
Trying to seize the moment with 3 minutes remaining. Backdoor cut. Jason Williams to Gasol.
Gasol, who will play in the FIBA World Basketball Championship this summer, was also named to the NBA's All-Rookie First Team.
I'm impressed. I'm surprised. I never expect that. And all that I did is just work, and play the game that I love.
Joining Gasol on this year's All-Rookie First Team is fellow Grizzly Shane Battier, who averaged 14 points a game for Memphis this season.
Some words. Oh! Shane Battier! Still can't get free. They give it to Battier. Puts it up. Shot. It's good.
Golden State's Jason Richardson was also named to the team. He was the Warriors' second leading scorer and the winner of All-Star Weekend's Slam Dunk Contest.
Okay.
Andrei Kirilenko of Russia gave the Utah Jazz some valuable minutes this season. And now he, too, is a member of the All-Rookie First Team.
Kirilenko drive hard to the waist.
The Spurs' Tony Parker of France rounds out the All-Rookie First Team. Tony may have been new to the league, but he played with the poise of a veteran.
Parker hit by Kirilenko. Still Parker all the way. Gets the roll!
And finally, Indiana's Jermaine O'Neal received the NBA's Most Improved Player Award. This season, O'Neal posted career highs of 19 points and 10 rebounds per game.
I've been through an awful lot the last 4 or 5 years, and to be recognized as one of the most improved players in the NBA means a lot to me.
Now a look back at the first year of the first European player ever to win the NBA's Rookie of the Year award in the global game.
With the third pick in the 2001 draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Pau Gasol from FC Barcelona, Spain.
Who was this young man, and how well could he play? He was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies on draft night and began answering those questions right away.
It was a surprise to me at the impact he's had this year. He's had a tremendous year. His ability to pass the basketball, score inside, to put the ball on the floor at 7 feet tall. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Gasol would soon make believers out of opponents and fans around the league who hadn't heard of him before, but now would remember his name.
Nobody knows me. I think nobody expected the third pick. Pau Gasol, who is this? Who is that guy? Nobody knows it.
Now they know. Pau Gasol's a gifted all-around player who led all NBA rookies in scoring, field goal percentage, rebounds, and blocked shots this season.
Motivates me, That makes me, step up and say, well, I'm here. I can play, and everybody will know me now.
Pau was the Memphis Grizzlies' leading scorer, averaging nearly 18 points per game that resulted from a wide variety of power and finesse moves.
Here's Pau Gasol looking to put it on the floor. Does with the left hand. And what a special move by the rookie sensation.
And he has been sensational. Never more so than on the night when the Grizzlies hosted the Timberwolves. And Gasol went baseline on the big ticket.
Garnett's wanting to go. There he goes. Oh! He took it right at Kevin. And Garnett can do nothing but smile.
Who is this young man? He's Pau Gasol of the Memphis Grizzlies, the NBA Got Milk Rookie of the Year.
Sacramento Kings. I think the basketball court is like a classroom. It's a place where I am eager to learn something new every day. By reading a book, studying math, or learning a language, a world of opportunity will open up to you. Because education is the most important tool you can use in building a strong foundation for the future.
This message brought to you by the NBA and its players. It's time for more NBA action. Now we take a look back at the history of the colorful and exciting American Basketball Association in this week's edition of Time Out.
And now, here's George Mikan, Commissioner of the ABA.
I've been associated with basketball all my life, and I can't remember an occasion which has given me more personal satisfaction than the basketball game you are going to see in just a few seconds.
I know you're going to dig this.
We've got to remember that the ABA was started on the idea of being entertaining.
This is a totally new league. There are no rules.
There are no stars. We make our stars. We do what we want to do.
We have added the home run in basketball, where now any of the players that shoot from behind 25 feet gets the 3 points instead of the 2.
When Roger Brown gets the ball, there's no indecision. Home run, Indiana.
And the thing that makes it so exciting is a little bit of something extra any time of the ball game. It doesn't have to be the last 2 minutes of the game to get the fans excited.
You are watching American Basketball Association action. Pro basketball at its best.
It was wackier, more open. It had more dunking. It had that wacky, multicolored, polycolor ball.
There's no mistaking the red, white, and blue basketball of the American Basketball Association.
I guess the big question here is, why did you choose the ABA over NBA?
Well, I like the colors of the basketball.
You like that better?
Yes. That red and white blue ball had a lot of flash to it. You know, once you let it go, you know, you can watch it spin. You can see the ball spinning in there and hit the nets.
The colorful ball just made it seem like, wow, it's more flamboyant. You can do more things with it. You try crazier shots. So there's a whole sense of, like, the game becoming more colorful.
Here's a long lead pass, right down the lane, all the way, layup good! Driving to the lane, up into the air, the shot looks good! Here comes Durbin, the Iceman, driving and the left-handed. Oh, sensational shot by Durbin.
It's all about running and gunning and shooting more times than you. Our whole theory was, if we shoot 100 times, we shoot 110.
If you were to contrast the league and say, what's the difference? The NBA played a very conservative game.
Back when we first came into the NBA, everything was slow down, set, walk it up.
The ABA in general had this more sense of bigger afros, sweatband, headband. So it was a whole kind of way of looking at the game. It seemed a little bit more looser, more reflective of kind of the street style than the NBA was at that point.
And there is Julius Erving. Look at that move behind the back. Oh!
It wasn't Julius Erving. It was Dr. J, which meant when he got on the floor, on the court, he operated on guys.
He had this big afro. and the key to his afro, I guess, was to see how high he could pick it up straight, to see how far he could fly it back when he was running down the court. You know, his hair would always be flying in the back as he was flying through the air.
When you came onto the basketball court, and, you know, you got a little acceleration, and your throat was kind of blowing in the wind, that was pretty dynamic look.
He brought into vogue the idea of spending most of the game up in the air and never touching the ground.
Without question, without any doubt, the absolute greatest forward that has ever put on a pair of basketball shoes.
I don't think anybody goes to the glass with the authority that the Doc did in those days when he was with the Nets.
The man that has turned the slam dunk into an art, who has thrilled ABA fans with moves that have been beyond comprehension. At 6'6" for the New York Nets, the fabulous Dr. J. Julius Erving.
The style and the flair of Dr. J was emblematic of the ABA, and I don't think that was ever more illustrated than in the first slam dunk contest in Denver.
We knew we had some outstanding leapers in the ABA, so that was a chance for us to showcase our skills. George Gervin was a slam dunk, Artis Gilmore, and of course myself and Dr. J.
It came down to David Thompson and myself.
It was good to see David and Julius go head to head, you know, to show some of the, you know, the dunks that, you know, you couldn't believe guy was doing at that time.
I saved my specialty for last. I went baseline and did a 360 dunk. I thought I was going to win the slam dunk competition. Now it was Dr. J's turn.
And that sends everyone reeling. Julius Erving.
Fans went crazy. All the players on the side were jumping up and giving each other five.
I think it was somewhat of a defining moment, a piece of basketball history.
Guys like myself, Ice, Dr. J, Larry Keenan, and some of the others helped change the NBA game into the game that it is today.
Iverson for a three, and down it goes!
I think the NBA found a way to absorb what was best about the ABA.
This building just exploded.
Everything that I see in the NBA now are things that were being done in the ABA in the 70s.
Thank God for the red, white, and blue ball.
Welcome back to NBA action. All right, time now for the top 10 plays of the week in our courtside countdown. Starting us off at number 10, just take a look at the Boston Celtics' Paul Pierce.
There's Pierce. What a move! What a basket! That was one of the spectacular baskets tonight by Pierce.
Coming in at number 9 this week, Divac does in the Jazz from downtown.
Shot clock at 3. Divac hits it 3. On the Rocky with 3 by Paulie Divac.
At number 8 this week, another Boston Celtic, Antoine Walker gets into the act.
Walker. Nice aggressive move from Walker.
At number 7, the 76ers take off on the break, and Iverson has the answer to end it.
Jackson speed. Iverson.
Coming in at number 6, the Kings are on a roll, and C-Webb rams one home.
Christie scoring deep cover. What a play. That was spectacular. What a great finish by Weber. 6'11" guy running down the court, reverse dunking.
At 5 this week, a remarkable wraparound from a Raptor, Keon Clark.
Here's Keon Clark, who has been more than very much in the game, and Clark as well.
And coming in at number 4 this week, it's the Mavericks' Michael Finley, who's finishing with a flourish.
Ahead to Finley.
Oh, my goodness. Look at the Zerovich duck. Duck and cover.
Cover your head.
At number 3, here's a little something fancy from the man from France, the Spurs' Tony Parker.
Parker with a little sleight of hand. Reverse pivot and bucket.
Coming in at number 2, just keep your eyes on the Mavericks' Steve Nash.
Nash moving the other way. Rollicking down the way. Goes long. An incredible play by Steve Nash.
And the number 1 play of the week, here's the Lakers' Robert Horry with a 3 for victory.
Bryant ditching off. Horry for 3. Robert Horry, his coach said he needed to have a big game. Well, the shots don't get any bigger than this.
That's our show for this week. Last week on NBA.com, you thought this spectacular 360 slam by the Sonics' Desmond Mason was the number 1 play of the week. It's certainly worth another look. And remember, you can vote for your favorite plays by clicking on Courtside Countdown on the homepage of the league's official website, NBA.com. I'm Jim Fagan for NBA Action. See you next week.